Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes for this special late announcement show. I just decided it was Sunday night. I'm going on to night shift tomorrow, and I had nothing else to do, so I thought I'd throw in a last-minute show. And Dan incredibly said he could join, and it's very last minute. So it's basically an Ask Me Anything show. But also, we're going to talk about some talking points about football and just have a general chit chat, about life, really, in a way. There's a link if you want to become a member. Leslie says, even though, please like and subscribe, share to your socials, free, and it helps the channel grow. Super chats are available in the bottom right-hand corner. To make a donation, or you can join from just 99p and enter into our monthly prize draw. Just to let you know, monthly prize draw hasn't happened this last month. It'll happen this month. We're giving Spenny a month off because he deserves a month off because he gives us a prize every month. Please keep comments respectful and get your questions ready for Baz and Superfan Dan. And yes, rest in peace, Rob Burrows. Very, very sad news today. What he did to raise awareness of MND was unbelievable. Him and his friend, I can't remember his friend's name, it's an ex-player who played with him for so many years, did amazing stuff. The runs that they went on, carrying him on his back, over the line, all that sort of stuff was absolutely incredible. Evening, Stu. Evening, John, on your new account. I'm glad you're all right. No sound. Sound? Can anyone hear me? Yeah, I thought there was sound. Wonder why. Lee, have you got yourself on mute or moved your volume down? Just joking, you twat. Got me. What a bastard. He threw me off there. Nate News, Chelsea by every player in world football. Yes, it is. Hardly. Seriously was checking even though I could hear him. If only I had a brain. Me too as well. Because I would have known everybody else would be saying the same thing. Right, anyway, let's get down in and let's get this show on the road. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good evening to you.
How are you doing?
Getting ready for match day. Getting ready.
Ooh.
As you can see.
Who are you playing?
New Mexico United.
Ooh.
Who are currently first in the Western Conference. So we're fifth. So this is going to be a tough test for us. But just on Wednesday night, we played Charleston Battery from South Carolina, who are first in the Eastern Conference, and we drew 0-0. So. And our three strikers are all out injured.
Oh, Jesus. So, that sounds like Newcastle, doesn't
it? I fit right in. So, yeah. It's been a hell of a couple of weeks. We went on a 4-match losing streak, or winless streak, sorry.
Losing streak, so, that's another way to say it.
So, so to get a point on Wednesday night was exhilarating, especially against a class side like Charleston. And then tonight we play the team who's currently leading the club that's currently leading the Western Conference. So
wow.
But what I'm really excited about today is it's pause at the pitch. So for $5 for a $5, you can bring your dog.
Oh wow.
So 6,000 seat stadium. I don't think we'll have 6,000. I don't think we're going to get 6,000 dogs, but I mean, there will be a lot of
noise.
Yeah, and I'm kind of nervous because I bang my drum and I bang my drum to kind of get things going, kind of like Birdie at the Lasses games, and I don't know how dogs are going to react to that. So we'll see. I may have to tone it down a little. I don't know. I may just have to clap, but who the fuck knows? So
I'm sure you'll be loud enough clapping as well and singing and shouting. So
one of the players the other night was saying, was talking to his girlfriend, and I just went up and fist bumped him, and he's just like, I don't know how you have a voice at the end of the game. And I said, practice.
Practice, endurance, practice, and endurance.
I said it's the same as you guys working out all the time. It's you guys train, I train. So there you go. I just
very differently.
Exactly.
I got kids.
So, how are you, mate? All good?
I'm good. Yeah, finished work. Got 3 days out the way with 2 night shifts to go, and then I'm off for 5 days again, which would be nice. Well,
Fantastic.
4.5, I call it. We've got our first question, and it's a good one as well. What's your take on the shambles of the new cup rules? So a lot of people put out those horrible clickbait titles. Newcastle have been screwed. No, we haven't. Everyone's been screwed, apart from the Cartel 6 who are in Europe. Let's not forget that. It's not just Newcastle this is affecting. It's affected everyone who's in that competition.
Hashtag the other 14.
Yeah. Well, it's the other leagues as well. You know,
and the lower leagues as well.
Everyone down, exactly. So, I mean, in a way, if you look at it that they can't play against each other, it also gives those smaller teams a chance to get in a big fixture. So there is that a shining light for those smaller teams to get a big fixture and get decent money in. But for us, missing out on Europe, it's like, what's Man City, Man United again, isn't it?
Yep, which means we have every possibility of getting an away fixture at one of the big six. You know,
again,
and
then again. Now, I'm not too sure how the rules work. Is it just for the third round or fourth round, and then it's all open?
To be honest, I haven't read.
I haven't read into it too much.
I saw the clickbait and I was like, no, I'm not going to click it.
Yeah.
I mean, the summary gives it away. You know, it just says, you know, that they can't be drawn against each other. Well, great. Yeah. Other than that,
they have to at some point, don't they? That's the thing. So I think it must be just for the first round that they're entered into it, which will be the third round. No, fourth. Is it the fourth round they're entered into it? Or third round? Someone's going to have to clarify that for me, because I know the European teams come into it a round later than the Premier League teams who aren't in Europe. Because we missed a round, didn't we, when we were last season? So we jump into a round. So I'm guessing just for that one round, there's like a seeding system, apparently.
Well, but then we'll have to see if you get past the third round. Then if they enter on the fourth round, that means they can't be drawn against each other. But then if they go through to the fifth round, does that mean they still can't be? Well,
because they're going to have to be drawn against each other at some point, because there'll be no teams left to draw.
Right. Yep.
We're going to come to that one, Leslie.
I have there's a comment coming up that I have to comment on just because, but it just makes me laugh. Mick.
There it is. Big up, Baz Dan. Have you got your?
Only if it's
there we go. Third round only. That makes sense.
Thanks, Ethan. I'm just trying to figure out the G stands for Geordie somewhere in there somewhere, because no, you wouldn't catch me dead wearing a red manga hat. No way. No.
I love it. These new rules of Carabao Cup about the top six carry for unfair anyone out of the top six. I mean, John, there is two ways of looking at it. Like I say, for us wanting to go deep into the tournament, it kind of could be against us, but it gives the smaller teams a chance to get a big team because they're not going to be drawn against each other. So there is a silver lining for the smaller teams, isn't there?
And let's be honest, on any given Saturday, any given Sunday, any given Tuesday night, you never know.
Exactly. Tuesday, Wednesday nights, these are games are played on.
Spurs could be Spursy.
Exactly. Do you think we'll sign Demundi from Sporting Lisbon? I mean, he's expensive.
Thanks, Mick. No, it just says.
Love it.
I'm wearing a Metallica whiskey hat. That's what I'm wearing.
Right.
So I mean, do you want to dig into transfers? We talked about transfers the other night.
It's a question. So fly with it.
I agree with. I think it was Will. I think who tweeted. He said, no one would have given Tosin another look unless he was on a free.
Yeah.
So because he was on a free, he's a bargain for somebody, and because he's on a free, and Chelsea can offer more wages, then whatever. Again, he's settled in London. If he and his family don't want to leave London, then fair play to him. The sad part is we all know that. And I love all the headlines. Chelsea need another center back because Thiago Silva left. They don't need another center back. They've got 7 more. Exactly. But if he doesn't want to go and he wants to go to Chelsea, if he doesn't want to leave London and he wants to go to Chelsea and sit on the bench and make 160 a week, you can't
It's a lot of money to turn down, isn't it? And he's already living in London. It saves him from having to root up everything. I know he doesn't have a family yet or anything like that, but he might have a partner and might be thinking about things that down the line.
Might have, yep, all those things. So it just, is it a shame? Yeah. Is it just, does it piss me off because it's Chelsea? Absolutely. But it is what it is. Now we've got to dip into our pockets and go find us another center back, because of course we're still without Lascelles, we're still without Botman, and we've seen this last season. Cher and Byrne can't play every game in both the league and 2 domestic cup runs.
Yeah, definitely.
So
that's where Kelly comes in as well, I suppose. He can play left centre back.
True. And
we
so can Kraft.
Kraft can play sort of right
centre back. Yeah. So and in those cases, you can also switch to a back 3, but then you're going to need 2. You're going to need one of either Cher or Byrne. So to play that center, and then you're hoping on Tino or Trips or Hall or now Kelly to play wingback. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
And then the Mamardashvili links have gone quiet. There was talk about Trafford earlier in the week. Those seem to have died down. I always get kind of excited when it quiets down, because that means we've got somebody on the radar that nobody's looking at. No one was looking at Bruno. No one was looking at Isak. No one was looking at Botman. Well, that's not true. Milan was looking at Botman, but
I knew he was coming.
Yeah.
I knew he was coming.
So I mean, just because there aren't rumors doesn't mean there's not work being done.
Exactly. There's always something being done. I mean, we even heard about the Tosun deal. We were touting him from March.
Right.
We were speaking to his representatives. So that just tells you there's stuff going on in the background. And what the Fulham fan news have said, last word on Tosun's imminent departure. He's been a great player for Fulham. I don't begrudge him his move to Chelsea. I don't believe he's a top quality centre back, but if he proves me wrong, I'll hold my hands up. He has a mistake in him when he holds the ball too long or plays a rushed ball into midfield, and at times his concentration can be off. But for Fulham, he's been a solid defender. I think a move to Newcastle would have made more sense, but 160k a week is a big wages. I also think Fulham should replace Tosun quite easily. He's not irreplaceable, and if there was a position in our defence to strengthen, it would be right centre back. So that just tells you, I mean, to offer him 160k a week, even Fulham fans are saying that's way over the top. And we were offering him 100, I believe, because there's no fee involved. So he's obviously going to get more than what he would get if there was a fee involved. You probably would be in the 70-80k range if there was a fee. So,
but you're 26 years old. You're going to be on 160 a week, living in London. If you're settled, then you might be looking at a better place to live. You might be looking at a better car. You might be looking at pulling different birds. I mean, you got all kinds of things going for you in London, and you're 26 years old. Then I look at so did Kieran Dyer, so did Craig Beverley, so did Jermaine Genius. Those were kids on big wages as well, and look how that turned out for them. So sometimes living in the goldfish is such a bad thing.
We had to bring it up. What's your take on Chelsea doing the scouting? Take on Chelsea doing no scouting and buying players with signing. So bring this classic back.
Yep.
Oh man,
it's absolutely spot on. It's they don't. Well, they have a manager now. That was another connection that Tosun had to Chelsea that we didn't talk about.
The manager,
their new manager, who they just got from Leicester, they've newly promoted Leicester, championship champions Leicester. Their coach and their coaching staff all walked away from Leicester City to join Chelsea because I'm sure bigger pay wedges and such. But yeah, and he and Tosun worked together at Man City at one point. So there was another connection there. That was another thing that I didn't think about. Let's look at Chelsea's track record with their managers now over the last 3 seasons, or since their takeover, since Bowley walked in.
God,
what is it? Maresca? Is it Maresca? Is that who the new manager is? Maresca?
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it is the Leicester manager. Yeah,
but I mean, I'm just looking at their track record. He signed a 5-year deal, which
you'll probably
means
see about a year or 2 years of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 1.5 seasons in. He gets paid out. He works 1.5 seasons. He gets paid out for 5. It's great money for him. So it just smacks of
stupid.
The whole thing, when you start talking about PSR and you start talking about FFP, you just start sitting there going, 115 charges for Man City. When is Chelsea going to get there? Selling hotels to themselves? Again, different rules for different people, and we always seem.
Well, that hasn't been passed by the Premier League yet, but it's been sitting with the Premier League for a long time now. The hotel transfer, and no one said anything. So that's very frustrating. I remember pulling this picture up last transfer window because it was Villa. Villa did the same thing, didn't they?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I do like it. I do like that one. I'm trying to keep up. The comments are flying in, but we're going to try and keep up with them as best as we can. It keeps jumping, which is even worse. So we've done that one.
Gary, I love Gary. He's quite surprised that Chelsea haven't offered Dummett and Richie contracts.
That is a surprise. What are the chances next season in the Cups we have more away fixtures than home fixtures? Probably 1 to 2 on that we have more away fixtures.
Yep.
It's just how things are. I kind of got 2 thoughts on it. One, they led by saying fixture congestion. They play the same amount of games. 2, we hope smaller clubs get away draws. But my personal thought is the big 6 are just. And then we need to find the next bit. Protecting themselves again. Which, yes, I mean, it does reek of that, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't understand how it helps. I mean, the only way it helps them with fixture congestion is if they're going to play their second string in that round, because they know they're going to be getting an easier tie.
Yeah, but at the same time, they put out their second string, and that gives Accrington Stanley a better chance at an away night, bigger payday, and the capability of being giant killers this season. So it just, there are positives and negatives to both of it, and sadly, I think the negatives outweigh the positives, but those positives are big ones for the little ones, for the little clubs. So yeah,
that's interesting. Multi-report saying we walked away from the deal and he didn't get to choose between us and Chelsea. Well, probably, if that is right, it's probably because we had the deal on the table for so long and he's waited for another offer to come along. So we said, Sodgy, we're pulling our offer out. So if Chelsea back out of it now, you're screwed because we're not coming back for you.
And fair enough. If that's the case, then good on our club. Good on our negotiators. Because we know it's not Dan Ashworth in the room. So, anyway.
I would love to.
I got my picture. I got my picture taken with him in May when we were there last year, because I said we Dans have to stick together, and he laughed at that, and now it just sickens me. It just makes me ill.
What a rat.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea are linked with Mamadou, but they're also linked with another goalkeeper as well, apparently. So Chelsea are linked to anything with 2 legs, which is right. Also, why are Chelsea now making out Tosin as a Wilbur? That is another thing that someone brought up, which I thought was quite funny. They said, when Tosin was linked to Newcastle, there was nothing in the press, nothing about how good he is as a player, what you'll bring to Newcastle, all this sort of stuff. And as soon as Chelsea got linked, they were like, oh, this guy's brilliant. This is what he does. This is what he offers. And again, it's what Sky do. They promote the big 6 because that's part of their contract that they've got with the teams in the Premier League. The big 6 get more airtime than everybody else, and they're more important than any other fucking team in the league. Does my head in.
Yep.
Maybe
we should stand up our own channel on YouTube or something and talk about it and give them shit about it.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's what we're here for. Chelsea linked to every player we look at. I wasn't quite surprised they have enough. There we go. There's that one. Brilliant. Give them time, Gary, says Leslie. Is Tosin going to be like Gillespie, our goalkeeper and a bench warmer? Probably.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is, though? I saw a reel of Tosan's highlights, and it made me sick that we missed out on him. But then someone, a Fulham player, not a Fulham player, a Fulham fan, commented underneath of it and said, yeah, these are his best bits, but they didn't show any highlights of his game against Sheffield United away about how poor he was. But some of his passes reminded me of Shaw and Botman, the way he was spraying it wide, and that's why Eddie Howe, if he got a hold of him, could have made him a better player.
Agreed. Now let's see if we can go for the kid from Juventus.
Yes, the young lad. I don't know anything about him, but
all I know is all I've read is that he's genuinely 2-footed. He's 6'5" and only 19. So he's got another year or two of growing left to do. He could be 6'6", 6'7". He could be another Dan Burn. We'll have to see.
Yeah, military can't handle him. That does worry me for the manager, though. He's obviously had a small squad with Leicester in the Championship, and now he's moving up to a Chelsea team who have just got rid of Pochettino, who got them to two cup finals, or was it one cup final? Two,
and a quarter.
Got to the Carabao in a quarter final.
Right. Yep.
Was it? Yeah, and because they got beat in the final of Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, and then they got beat off semi-final, Man City. Well, they should have won the FA Cup. They should have won it, and it still pisses me off because I backed them to win it. And they should have put Man City to bed in that semi-final. But they sacked the manager and then got them into 6 out of nowhere. And then he's going to come into all these players. None of them are here signings. But I think he's expecting that. I think he knows he's going in there as a coach and a coach only. Doesn't have anything to say with the dealings of the club when it comes to that side of it. They're going to buy the players and they're going to say, good luck. But we expect you to win things.
The first decision he has to make when he walks in is he has to pick his penalty taker and say, you're the guy. Anything else on the pitch is a piss about. I'm not going to have it. Sit your ass down. Go sit with Tosin on the bench. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to come to obviously one of their star players soon, and I'm going to put up a bit of a thing that I'll have a good conversation around who we can get on the right wing. But Depay is a free agent. I mean, for me,
Memphis.
I don't know. I think he's past it now.
I think he would be, but at the same time, for a season, it might be. He might work a treat. We'll see.
Bollocks.
Yeah, agreed.
We all know it.
No.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. That's not happening.
Even Andrew, there he is. That's his name.
Huijsen
reads the game well. I mean, I did say he could be one of the players we could look at. And Anderson, go back in for our long-term target. Anderson from Palace. I know he's 28, but he's certainly improved under their new manager. And I think Eddie Howe is a big fan of him. And I think with having maybe Hussein coming in, a very young player, bringing in a older head as well to go along with Botman and Shaw, I think Anderson would be the perfect player to. But Palace are a hard club to deal with when it comes to transfers.
And if you're going after multiple players, there's if there's any truth in us going in after, Elise or Easy or Ezzy or whatever.
Brilliant. That's dust.
Done and dusted. There you go.
Yeah. See, I questioned this on Twitter today, and I got a few idiots come flying at me and that. And everything in the report saying they've got to make 100 million by the end of June. But they're still signing players, so surely that fee is going to get higher and higher and higher, how much they're going to have to do to balance the books. Yes, they're offering 8-year contracts, but the loophole's been closed. Even if they sign an 8-year contract, they're only getting PSR of 5 years.
Right.
So that brings it right down. So if they sign someone for 500 million, or so let's just say 100 million, they sign an 8-year contract. You don't spread that over 8 years. You only spread it over 5 years. So that obviously makes it more difficult for them. But yeah, I mean, this hotel thing. I mean, the guy came to me and said, "Oh yeah, that's been passed by the Premier League. Next, what's the next charge?" I went, "Well, show me the evidence it's been passed." And all I got was "Get back in your box, you Newcastle fans, and let the big boys play football." I was like, "Yeah, well done, mate. You just proved everything."
Everything. Yep.
Oh man.
So King Gaming is asking a bunch of questions in the chat.
Well, yeah, I mean, does Miggy go to Ipswich? No.
I don't think we'd sell him to another Premier League club.
I think we would. I don't think he's going to come back.
If the money was right.
Yeah, if money's right, I think we do.
I'm just sitting there.
I mean, Ipswich aren't going to pull up any trees, are they? They're going to be fighting for survival. I just don't see Miggy going to Ipswich. I think he might go back to America. But again, any teams could afford him. That's the thing, because we still want about 20 million, don't we?
Right. We signed him for 24. We'd probably want 20, but I'm sitting there looking at the US teams. Nobody in the US could afford him. I mean, it was a coup for Atlanta to sell him for what they sold him for. But he won't go back to Atlanta. Joseph Martinez, his striking partner at Atlanta, is now, I want to say, at Cincinnati, I think.
Right.
And that's where Yedlin is too.
All right.
Yep. DeAndre Yedlin is at Cincinnati, but I don't see Cincinnati.
I thought he was at Inter Miami.
He was, but he got traded just before the season started, or just after the season started.
Right.
Yeah, he was the captain at Inter Miami until Messi showed.
No way.
Yeah. So
there you go, Messi.
Well, no, I have to give credit to him because Messi, when he came in, they were still in the Leagues Cup, which is the newly created competition between MLS and Liga MX, Mexico's Premier League. And they were in that, and that's where Messi was making his debut. And first game in, he's got the captain's armband. So when they won the Leagues Cup, he went to go lift the trophy. They were going to lift the trophy, and Messi walked over and put the armband on Yedlin. Yedlin was like, no, you're the captain. He goes, no, you're the captain. We won this, and they lifted the cup together, which was, I thought, a classy move. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, but then he got fucked off to Cincinnati. So
he is getting old, to be fair. We're going to answer two of King's questions together, because he says, does Wilson go to Brentford, and does Mbeumo come to St James's Park? So we can add them together, can't we? Because I think, Liverpool are also interested in Mbeumo, but we might be able to strike a deal with Brentford easily, because we can then offer Wilson in part exchange going the other way. And I think Wilson would probably goes too. Yes. Good point.
If Tony goes, then they're desperate for a striker.
Yeah, and I think Tony does go.
I think so too.
But he hasn't got. Do you know how I think it might work? And I know this is like, it's putting a lot of. It's like buying a house, isn't it? You're in a chain.
Yep.
So, when Mbeumo comes to Newcastle, if Wilson goes to Brentford, if Tony goes to, where's he going to go? I think Villa, because I think Villa could lose Solanke to Liverpool. And there's your chain.
Oh,
no, Watkins. Sorry, Ollie Watkins. Sorry,
Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking. I didn't realize that Villa was in for Solanke from Bournemouth.
Yeah. Right. I think they're going to get him because
right.
But Liverpool are interested in Watkins. Sorry.
Gotcha.
So there's the chain. There's a big chain.
Yeah.
So it all depends if one of them Skittles falls over, you could see the whole chain work. Yeah, if one of them refuses, you can see the whole domino effect stopping quite.
If there was only someone at Bournemouth that we were interested in that we could trade Wilson for, because Wilson would go back to Bournemouth.
Yeah, he probably would. I mean, Solanke is someone that people have turned their noses up at, but we'll come to that in a little bit, because I think we're silly to turn our noses up.
Agreed.
I am a little bit worried about Kelly's injury record, but you might be over it now. You've got to give the lad a chance. Look at
But our medical team but our medical team hasn't had a chance to look at him yet.
Yeah, this is true. But Tino Livramento had a really bad knee injury, wasn't it? And we saw how well he's been looked after.
ACL,
and yeah, exactly. Kelly's young enough to get over it.
Yep.
I still think a goalkeeper is QB, Gary. I think a goalkeeper will be Trafford. I honestly do. If Mohamed Ashville can't happen because he'll want to be number one, I think there'll be 2 goalkeepers signed. And I think we still sign Trafford as a number 2.
And
regardless.
Trafford was a backup to Pope before.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure they work well together. And then Gillespie is the third in there to help train them both up. I mean, just not a bad deal.
Yeah. I would love Mohamed Ashville because of what I've seen and read and everything. But if you sign him, Pope's going to leave and Dubravka's going to leave, so you're still stuck needing a number 2. So you end up going to spend more money than you are recuperating. I reckon you end up spending 10 million more than what you want to. So I think 20 million for Trafford makes sense, and Pope is still your number 1 for the season. So we'll see what happens.
Proves his fit.
Now, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, again, is another one that this is what I've heard. And again, it'd probably be untrue in the end, but this is what a few people have been saying. Dominic Calvert-Lewin only comes to Newcastle if Wilson leaves, but we're still trying to sign another striker as well. But we don't know who that is. No one's got a name yet, which is frustrating. Everyone would love Sesko, but we'll see what happens. Not football related, but thoughts are with the family and friends of Rob Burrows. Fought till the end, and his work research for MMD will live on 100%, Jules. I did mention that at the start. Nico Schlotterbeck, sold. Solid. Yes, my eyes. They've saved 400k a week on silver going, no fee for tossing 160k, so it's saving at the moment of 240k a week. That's just fair enough, to be fair. But what about all the other players on the books? Surely they're close. I don't know. It is horrendous. I mean, the story, you won't know this, but on this Coronation Street, I've got a story going on about MMD as well, where someone's got it, and it's bringing more light to it, which is brilliant. Yep. Qualities of a truly wonderful hit. Yes, definitely. Evening in. Does Gordon? No.
Not a chance.
Now. He wanted to get out of Liverpool. Gordon, he's found his joy of playing football again. Can we talk about how special it will be for trips to Captain England and St James's Park tomorrow? Pure leader off and on the pitch. I thought the game was tonight. It's not. It's tomorrow. I'm on night shift, unfortunately, so I'll miss it. But yes, you're right. Trips walking out to St James's Park, his home team. And what is it? Nice. Oh, is it? Yeah. But where's he going to play? Left back or right back?
Kyle Walker's going to play right back. I mean, keeping Kyle. It could, keeping Kyle fit for the Euros. Maybe he gets a run out for 15, 20 minutes. Walker. So.
Ooh, good question. Do you know your building structures?
I don't know.
Blocks? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. But again, it's England, so it probably won't be too fierce. It definitely will be a proud moment for trips, 100%. Yep. We did.
Yes, I did. Ashworth, no, he's gone. Screw it. He can stay in his garden for all we care. Bringing in loads of manure.
Exactly.
Yep.
We did cover it. Lots of comments, Baz, we'll get to it. It was right back at the very start. We said no. That was the end of the conversation. We don't want to be wasting our reps on Ashworth anymore. There are 3 youngsters from Stanley Deaf Club. Yes, they're going to be mascots and signing the national anthem on that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So Mandy messaged me and told me this, and I thought the game was tonight. I was like, I'm going to miss it because I won't get home in time and that. But I will now be at work, so hopefully I'll sneak it on or something. But really, shout out to Stanley Deaf Club, amazing. Obviously, we raised some money for them. Mandy's amazing. The kids are amazing. So I hope they enjoy themselves and don't get froze at the occasion. They both said no. There you go.
I agree with this comment.
Yeah, that could be true. Because there was in the news a couple of days ago, wasn't it, that he's been offered a new deal?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought today was Monday. I thought I was on night shift when I finished my shift today. I was like, wait a minute, I'm going home and like it's nighttime still. Weird. Final friendly on Friday, then lads fly off. Ooh. Are you watching any of the T20 World Cup?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
If I can,
You're hosting it with Jamaica.
I depends on when they. Yeah, I have to look at the schedules.
You won a game. You won a game yesterday.
Yes. Yep. Agreed. Yep. I did. I didn't watch it. I was with the dogs. So
I don't know if you're a cricket fan, and I love the T20. I love cricket, to be fair, but the competition has started, and I thought it was a week away, but no, it started, and Jamaica and America. I don't know. All I know is it's hosted between Jamaica and America.
Okay, all right. Oh, yeah. The big one for us in the summer right now is the TST 7v7 tournament. There's 48 teams that are playing in that. It's 7-on-7. And a whole bunch of retired footballers are all making up these 7v7 teams, and it's being played in Cary, North Carolina. So it's going to be a hot one for those guys.
That.
So
I bet. 100 million is actually a lot of money still in this day and age in football. So, and I don't think he goes. I don't think Bruno's
he has said he's not.
Exactly.
His dad has said he's not. You know. I don't think he's going anywhere. So here's the thing about cricket.
Go on.
I would need to sit down with you, Baz, so you could explain it to me.
Oh, Jesus, we'll be there a while.
Well,
there's a lot of rules.
The fact that a game can go several days does
That's
my head.
Test cricket. That's Test cricket. So this one's just T20, so it's 3 hours.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well,
and apparently, before baseball came out, cricket was actually quite a big sport in America, but then baseball squashed it.
I wouldn't doubt it. So was lacrosse. So and lacrosse has been a huge sport on the college circuit now for a couple of decades. So Yep.
But they're trying to get cricket in America because obviously the size of America and trying to bring in more fans and another country involved into it because there's not that many when you think about it.
Yep.
But I can imagine, I mean, baseball players have tried to play cricket and cricket players have tried to play baseball. And I think the baseball players get a shock how good the cricket players are because it's all hand-eye coordination, isn't it?
Agreed.
Where the baseball players don't kind of get the thing that it's a 360 game, where baseball is like in front of your game, isn't it?
A wedge. Yep.
Yeah. So it's quite fun to watch.
Pitching and bowling are completely different things. So.
Oh yes. You ever watch the movie, the one where they try and find, and they actually did it. They went to India and Pakistan, I think, and they tried to find someone who could throw the ball 100 mile an hour or 90 mile an hour to turn them into a pitcher. And they did. There was 2 pitchers from either Pakistan or India in the American Baseball League.
But which which movie was it? I have to look for it.
I can't remember what it was called. It's on Netflix.
All right.
You need to find it.
It might be on your Netflix, and I might have to put a VPN on it.
Yeah,
find
yeah.
It. No, but I can find it. We have our ways. So
McKenna News at St James's Park. Not heard anything on him. Gibbs White, I think he's a number 10. I think he's a number 10 though, and we don't need a number 10.
I'm thinking 4 to 5, but who the 4 to 5 are is kind of Ian, little different, but kind of.
Yeah, sort of
like
the same.
Like Baz just said, baseball players who get into cricket get surprised that it's a game that surrounds them rather than just in front of them from the diamond. So
yeah. Well, I've been sent a question.
Yeah, I saw that
on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
It's a good one. So this is for the chat. Since the competition changed its name to the default Champions League in 1992-1993, there have been 4 Englishmen to lift the trophy as captain. Can you name them? So first one who comes to mind straight away is Steven Gerrard for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Englishman. Who was captain of Man United when they won it
then?
In 1999-2000? Was it not Roy Keane?
He would have in 99. Yeah, he would have been. So that's not an Englishman.
Nope.
No Englishman at Bayern Munich. No Englishman at Real Madrid until Bellingham.
Beckham. Michael Owen.
Yeah.
Woodgate.
Yeah, none of them captain though.
None of them captain. None of them don't think won. I mean, Beckham won the Champions League.
But was that the question? The question was.
That's the question. Yeah. Who? There have been 4 Englishmen to lift the trophy as captain.
As captain. Okay, that was. That's the kicker.
So it's a good question. So if anyone can think of it, let me know who you think. I know Steven Gerrard is definitely one. John Terry. Yeah, John Terry will be one. Terry.
True. Yep.
But what? He wasn't on the pitch when they won it though. He was the full kit wanker in the stand. Remember, he ran on, didn't he? Unstripped and everything, and then went and lifted the trophy. But he wasn't on the pitch. So full kit wanker.
Full kit wanker. Was it Rio Ferdinand?
Rio Ferdinand.
I was going to say Jordan Henderson. I was trying to think.
Second time they won it against Spurs.
Yep.
Yeah, Henderson. It's a good question. This Terry is debatable. He was a full kit wanker. Full kit wanker. There we go. But who was the captain on that day, though? Lampard. Frank Lampard would have been captain, wouldn't he?
Yep, you got him. So Lampard, Henderson,
Stevie G.
And
who's the last one?
Was it Rio Ferdinand for Man U?
How many times have Man United won it?
Just the one in 99, right?
Do they not win it again?
I don't know.
Eddie Howe's a massive keep. I'm sick of seeing that.
Yeah.
Lambert. Why is it who? Lambert who?
Christopher Lambert, who was Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod in the Highlander? That guy? I don't follow him.
I'm the same, Jules, by the way. I don't follow county cricket, but I've always followed England. I've watched England since I was like a little boy, and it was on Channel 4, and the Ashes were on, and we got destroyed off Australia all the time. Welcome to my United TV, you cheeky git. We're answering this. This is right up your alley, Jules. This is a question. This is a quiz question. You love quizzes. So I'll say it again. Since the competition changed its name to the default Champions League in 1992-1993, there have been 4 Englishmen to lift the trophy as captain. Can you name them? We believe we have 3 in Stevie G, John Terry, if not John Terry, because he was a full kit wanker in the stand, it would have been Lampard. Henderson for Liverpool as well. So we're missing 1 to send. No, Bobby Charlton can't be it. I'll read the question again, Ethan.
No,
Since 1992-1993, when the name was changed to the Champions League, there have been 4 English captains to lift the trophy. Since 1992-93.
Ian CR65 got it. Up above.
What? Rio Ferdinand 2008. There we go then. Right.
So 2008.
Rio. There we go. Sent. Let's see if we've got the right answers or not between us all. That was fun.
That was.
Man U won it in 2008. Yeah, I thought they'd won it again. Wasn't that on a penalty shootout against Chelsea? And didn't John Terry slip and hit the post? I'm sure that was it. 2008. Because Man United missed. John Terry had a chance to win it. And he slipped when he kicked it and he hit the post. And then they ended up winning it in the penalty shootout. God, my knowledge is good sometimes.
I'll give that one to you because...
You tell me what I did a few days ago.
What'd you have for breakfast on Wednesday, Baz?
Well, to be fair, I was at work, so it's. No, I wasn't at work on Wednesday, so I haven't got a clue. If I'm at work, I have scrambled egg, half of tomatoes, half of beans, and 2 hash browns.
There you go. There you go. All right.
I'm the same every day I'm at work. Right, we got all 4.
There you go. Fantastic.
He says not in the right order, but I'll let it slide, the cheeky bastard. But John Terry was definitely not it. It was definitely Lampard, because like I said, John Terry wasn't on the pitch at the time. He was in the stands because he was suspended. So, right.
Wanker.
I love it. I love it. The memes that came out from that afterwards were fucking brilliant. Dave says, yes, at Baz. There we go. Bang. To all the answers, I'm happy, but nobody left St. James's.
That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping that nobody leaves, but
exactly.
Except Target.
Except Target, yeah.
Well, no. I'm trying to think of it and phrase
Hayden.
You know, five big
Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis. Who else are we wanting gone? It's not a question.
Other ones would be
needing to go.
Yeah.
So
right, I've got a bone to pick with you lot. Not you in particular, but with America.
Oh.
Someone on TikTok said they invented a new game.
Oh, I saw this. Yep, I saw this. I saw you tweet it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, look at it. That's a 15-year-old girl. That's a 15-year-old girl that just.
There were adults playing it as well. They should know better.
Those weren't adults.
I didn't really watch the whole video.
Those weren't adults. No, they weren't adults. They were all teenagers, and of course, all teenagers in the U.S. think they're the first to do anything. So no, it's Kirby. They were playing Kirby.
Curbs.
Yep.
Well, Curbs has been around for many.
I have no doubt.
Did you ever play it?
Yeah. I remember playing it. Yep.
There we go. What's the game? Curbs. So, what were your rules? I'm interested, because we had different rules depending on whose curb you ended up at.
And we moved every 2 years, so I couldn't tell you. There were, I may have played it once, so they also spelled it wrong.
They did.
That's because they're idiots. But
we played silly rules. So we used to have, if you got a double curb, so you hit the far one and it comes back and hits your curb. End the game, you win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Straight away, an instant win, because it's so hard to do that.
Sure.
Because then we used to say, right, you hit it from one curb to the other curb, and then you catch it, you get an extra point.
Okay.
And then you would go to the middle, and then you would throw it, hit the curb, then go back and do the long one again. So we used to do it that way. Then we used to say, I used to get 5 points if you could throw it over a car and hit the curb when it was driving past you.
Got it. All right.
We used to play stupid rules like that. One hand, if you kicked it, you got a different point as well, because you were better at, because it's harder to kick it off the curb than it is to throw it. There you go. It was a great game, though. It was better than playing Spot all the time. I don't know if you played Spot or not.
There are 5 English teams that start and end with the same letter. Who are they?
Oh, Jesus. We've started something now, haven't we? You're looking at, like, East Fife.
Oh, okay.
You look at potentially Scottish names and stuff like that. Liverpool, there's another one. LNL.
Welsh. Northampton.
Welsh names.
Yep.
Yeah, Northampton, NNN. There's 3. No, it's not a trick. No, it's definitely not a trick. There's definitely teams.
Liverpool.
And we've got Liverpool, Northampton, East Fife.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, yeah.
York City.
Hall.
There you go.
No. Oh, yeah, York City 5. There's 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Oh, right. We've done the English League.
Hi to Simon. Hello, Simon. Good to see you, mate.
Yes.
Simon in San Diego.
Yeah, Simon's in the house.
San Diego.
I have put his finger, because he was the one who said they spelled it wrong. I'm guessing he was just talking about the English League. But obviously, if you go to Scottish League, there's quite a few more. Celtic.
True.
We could go on forever, couldn't we? We nailed that one. Right. Bit of news for us. Newcastle United have beaten several German clubs,
Nice.
including Leipzig, to Rovers' 16-year-old Roy Finneran. Now, it's very weird that we're the only English team mentioned. It's all about German teams after him, but there you go. He's a youngster. The debutant who made a good move for him, but for us, it's another frustration of a young talent moving on too soon. So the lad's only 16. Blackburn are a bit devastated about this by the sounds of it. Nathan is, he's a Blackburn fan. John, underneath it, says, very badly advised by whomever they do with the money, really. Let's be honest. He would be in our squad next season and a move to a Premiership club in 2 seasons anyway. Look at Adam Warrington, who's at Crystal Palace, now possibly going to the Euros. So obviously he shone for Palace. This is great for us because we've obviously snapped up a talent.
Right.
But should we have loaned him back maybe to give Blackburn, the chance to play him and for him to develop a little bit faster maybe? If they're saying he's that good enough, he could have been in the squad, in the full-time squad. Why put him in our under-17s when he could be playing a championship standard football?
And who's to say we don't?
This is true. We don't know what's going to happen.
It's only June 1st, June 2nd. So,
but we are trying to bolster our younger teams to get them higher up in the league. So, well, that's the other thing, because you
let 11 of them go.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just letting them go; it's the standard of football that they play at the moment. It's not the top tiers where we need them to be. So, but it's great news that we're snapping up young talent that doesn't go against PSR or FFP, whatever you want to call it these days. So I'm all for it.
Speaking of the lasses, I was alarmed when I read the tweet yesterday that Paige Bailey Gale has left Newcastle Ladies.
I didn't know that. I missed that one.
Yep. I was really? I thought she did rather well last season. So.
But again, it's just shown that they want to progress, and maybe they see her as someone who's not good enough to play in the next league up, potentially.
Maybe.
I think there's going to be quite a few releases you'll see, because the standard of football compared to what, Man City, Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham, and all the women's team, they're far superior to our team. And we saw that in the FA Cup, didn't we, when we went to Man United and got destroyed. Yep. So it has to happen. One player's played in Glasgow, Manchester, and Liverpool derbies. Who? Oh man, these questions. Christian Ziege. That rings a bell.
Did you say Christian Ziege?
Yeah. He played for Liverpool. I'm sure he played for Rangers or Celtic. Might be missing Manchester. No, I'm sure he played for City. He went to Middlesbrough as well. I remember all these questions from years ago. You see, there's loads of them. It's like, who's played in the Italian derby?
I was going to say, isn't it Peter Beardsley?
No.
He played for Manchester United. He played for Everton. He
only played one game for Man United, though, and that was in a Carabao Cup game, and it wasn't against Man City. So it's in the derby. So it's got to be Liverpool v Everton, Man United v Man City, and Celtic v Rangers.
Celtic v Rangers.
He never played for Celtic or Rangers, though. So could be, can't be Gaza. Never played for either one of them as well. It's a good question. There's loads of them, though. There's tons of them out there.
Scott's, someone,
I'll get to it.
All at the bottom. Yep. So I did like someone saying Charlton Athletic was also one that starts with a C, ends with a C.
Yes, Charlton Athletic, yeah.
So,
nope. Craig Bellamy, old question, may have changed.
No, I like, okay.
No, there's loads of them. Honestly, there's tons of the questions. I just can't remember. Andrei Kanchelskis, there he is. Yep. Played for Man United, played for Rangers.
And played for Liverpool.
Played for,
Everton.
He went to Everton. Yep. From Man United, didn't he? Yeah, Andrei Kanchelskis. Good question. That is an old one.
Thanks,
I remember it in my head. There's one with Christian Ziege as the answer, and I'm sure it's played in the Teesside derby. The the Milan derby, the Inter Milan AC Milan, because he played for one of those clubs, and he also played for Bayern Munich, so it was like the German derby as well.
When Bayern Munich in 1860 were in the same Bundesliga together.
Yeah,
1860, I think, is in Bundesliga 2 now. So
he went to a cricket game. T20 is brilliant. T20 Blast. It's lots of fun. It is, trust me. It's only 3 hours long, and it's just hitting the ball as hard as they can, as fast as they can, as many times as they can. Right. Moving on.
Sponsors.
Right wing. We'll come to. We'll do the sponsors now. Oh God, we've only been an hour.
Only because I thought that's where you were going.
No, I wasn't. Don't forget about Diet Crow. 20% off using Baz 20 code. Amazing t-shirts. There's lots of different stuff. There's also amazing other stuff you can use the code for as well. Go to the description, hit the link, and go and find their shop. Same with football prizes. There's Bruno's shirt. You've only got till tomorrow to buy tickets for it, so please get your tickets bought. There's also a Tonali shirt there. There's other shirts as well. There's a Willock shirt. Just get some tickets, and hopefully you win a prize. So
I've never asked the question. I've never asked the question, Baz. Do you have to be based in the UK?
I think so.
That's what I thought.
I'm not 100% sure.
Same thing with Biffa at NUFC.com. I've won a couple of those in the past, but now you have to have a UK address. So I'll use you next time.
I know that it's a UK-based company. I don't know if the link works for someone outside of the UK, but you can try it and see. But if it doesn't, then you know the answer, I suppose.
And then I just want to throw out, Scott Purchase said that Bellamy played for Celtic, Liverpool, and Man City. So he played also in all three. Yeah,
he probably played in all three as well. And you can also put the Time Way derby in there as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, there we go.
Add that one to your quiver, Simon.
So, who was the first goalkeeper to score in an FA Cup tie? Oh, Jesus Christ. What have we've opened the box of Pandora now, haven't we? Pandora's box has been opened. Oh, goalkeeper.
You want to talk about our right wing situation?
I do.
Not Craig Bellamy.
No. Look at the stats of some of these players, right? And this is one of the ones we talked about Dominic Solanke, about people turning their noses up at him. Look how many goal contributions he was involved in. 22. Yep. Same as Jared Bowen, only one less than Isak and two less than Saka, and only five less than Foden and Salah. Heung-min Son, and then 6 less than Salah. As much as the only problem with Dominic Solanke signing would be Isak's obviously the number one. Dominic Solanke would have to play second fiddle, and he obviously probably won't want like that because he is playing first choice for Bournemouth. But Newcastle said they will break their transfer record this summer. It's been, the owners have said it. I would love to be able to find the quote, but they did say that they could do that. And all the fingers point to Jared Bowen. I know he signed a big contract with West Ham, but if they sell Kudus and they start to go on the decline, does Bowen see one more move in him before he basically loses the chance to be able to do it? Or West Ham going to be challenging for anything next year? It's a tough one. The lad's put himself in a position where he's kind of put I'm not available, even though he should be because he's that good. What do you think, Dan?
While I would love to see him, I don't know much about the incoming manager. Is the incoming manager going to see Bowen as the player that Moisey did? I don't know. I think by saying I'm not available, it's a challenge to everybody. I think it's because we all know money talks. So he can say I'm not available, but if someone comes in with, an 85 million pound bid, is West Ham going to say not on your life? No, they'll snap somebody's finger off. So
the problem with Bowen is he's on big wages, isn't he? That's what I've heard. He's on something like 225 grand a week. So he's got himself very settled there, and he's on a lot of money.
Wow, I had no idea he was on that big a wage. Wow.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, let's have a little Google. I think it's something to do with bonuses or something like that. How about if I could spell Jared Bowen wages? So according to this, he's on 120 grand a week at the moment, but I'm sure he's got like big bonuses which are reachable, and then it jumps up to a certain amount. So even then, 120 grand a week is still a lot of money.
It is a lot, but our biggest payday right now isn't it Bruno? Isn't he making 200? Or is it Tonali that's making 200?
I think does Bruno have some of his contract where he's the highest paid player at the club or something stupid like that, a bit like Shearer had.
Right, and then yep. I don't know.
No, they're paying him 120 grand a week, but there's big bonuses that are reachable. You know, scoring bonuses, assist bonus, all that sort of stuff. Because they need to keep him because he's a huge player. But again, the new manager might not see it that way. I don't know. But cut the case end of this week. Apparently, that's going to be interesting. Solanke would depend on price. I think his price was massively inflated after one good season. True, he's English, always inflates it, doesn't it? Bruno 150k per week. I think it's round about that 150, 160. Yeah, but going back to that, I mean, like I say, there's two players in clubs that punched this season because of them.
Yep.
And could they see Newcastle as a step up to then help us punch a little bit higher than we want to, which is trying to get into that top four?
Right.
I mean, Ollie Watkins with 32. I mean, that's his best season ever. And I thought when I saw him the season, like last season, before this season's just finished, I thought if he gets injured, they're screwed. But he never did.
Nope.
And they don't really have a backup, do they? So he's a massive player for them. They'll never sell him. But again, he could ask a move. If Liverpool come in for Watkins, Watkins could think, ooh, got a chance here. Darwin Núñez is shite. So, yeah.
True.
It's very, very interesting.
Yep.
Non-Newcastle. So we'll come to this one because this is really pissed me off. So UEFA allowing both Manchester City and Manchester United to play alongside their sister clubs in Europe next season. Now, that reeks of corruption. It reeks of, let's let them do it. And the reason why I say that, and this is one of the fans of the show, James sent me this. Baz, Villa had to lower their stake in Club Victoria to 30% when it was 68%. They said we couldn't have played in Europe last season unless we made the stake smaller. They haven't asked Man City or Man United to do that. Hasn't Ratcliffe got a 40% stake in Nice?
I don't know. I was going to say, who's Man City's sister club?
Genoa.
Okay.
In Spain. So they qualified for the Champions League for the first time ever, but they had a lot of City players.
Right.
And I think one of the players that Genoa had on loan from another club, Man City, are buying in the summer as well. It's crazy. Yep. But this literally reeks of me saying UEFA are just rolling over for the bigger teams.
Yeah.
But this means they've got to do it for everyone now. So everyone needs to find out exactly what the stakes are between City and Genoa and Man United and Nice. I'm sure it's 40% with Ratcliffe or something like that. And if that's the case, Newcastle can now start, Newcastle PIF can start looking at sister clubs,
right,
having a big stake in them and saying, well, if we get into Europe and they get into Europe, you've allowed them two clubs to do it. We're doing it. Yep. It opens the door, doesn't it? You can't not close the door after you've opened it for two clubs.
Yep.
I'm trying to see if anyone's got 5-10 years. It's going to be a 10-year ban for Paqueta if it goes through. Bowen also doesn't fit that. Yeah, I know, but sometimes you can't just always get young and upcoming. He's only 27. He's got 5 years ahead of him. It would be good business for us. No one's. Might be because Ratcliffe only owns 27% of Man U.
Right.
Potentially.
Man U could be the lower percentage ownership. That's a true statement.
Or are you UEFA trying to stop teams forming a Super League by creating one themselves? Potentially. Yeah, Paqueta could be completely screwed. If he gets a 10-year ban, that's it. He's done.
But then he'll come up and live in Newcastle, be near Bruno, and make Bruno happy. Can you imagine?
He'll put his bets on for Tonali.
Bruno, Big Joey, and Paqueta hitting the town. It would just be too much.
It would be phenomenal. The pictures would be amazing. They'll break the internet.
Maybe a new a new Brazilian steakhouse somewhere.
Sounds good. City owners invested in another club only yesterday. They do it all the time. They've got like 10 under their umbrella, I think. Something stupid like that. Right, last little talking point. What do you think of this? I love this, that Mourinho's now got a job at Fenerbahce. Obviously, they're in the Champions League, so Fenerbahce are trying to get what they class as a high-class manager to come in and try and do something that no manager's done for a Turkey team, which is get them into the later stages of the Champions League and potentially win it. Since it's been renamed, because potentially Galatasaray might have won it at some stage in their history, which I'm not 100% sure of. But this now stops those links from Mourinho to Newcastle, doesn't it? Because I'm sick of hearing it.
Eddie Howe's not going anywhere, and anybody who thinks differently, why? What has he done so wrong that it would get him in the sack? I can't see anybody. The only thing I can see happening with Eddie Howe if he was to leave Newcastle would be because England came in for him. That's the only thing I can think of. But even then, is he ready to be England manager? I mean, in his own estimation, is he ready?
I don't know if he would like to be England manager because he likes the day-to-day coaching, and you hear about the way that he manages Newcastle. He's the first in, he's the last one out.
Yep.
He works with the players every day. I don't think he could go to international football.
I agree.
Right now, maybe when he gets a bit older and he needs to slow down a little bit.
He gets to that 50-55 range, then all of a sudden it becomes more attractive. And it's not that this is the only chance he'll ever get.
I mean, we hope not, because we hope he does some great things for us, but we just don't know, do we? Who's leaving in the summer? Well, we mentioned a few names already.
Hayden,
Target, Jamal Lewis, Hayden.
Jamal Lewis. Who's the other one?
There's a few, but we don't know if they are leaving. We know Hayden's definitely going because they're going to terminate his contract.
Yep.
And they're working on getting rid of Jamal Lewis as well. Target is one that, he's injured at the moment, though, so it's hard to get rid of a player who's injured. I still find the whole Gamma thing a bit unpotential when we're not bombarded. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Yep. It's all over the shirt sponsors, or not anymore shirt sponsors, the boardings. You can put bets on in the ground. Yeah.
Yep.
Mourinho just collected holiday homes. Yeah, he is. Players, his favourite rate subs.
Jules,
it's frustrating, isn't it?
Well, no, it's
this is right.
When you only have the same 12 players to choose from, how the fuck do you not play your favorites? Everybody's a favorite at that point because everybody else is fucking injured. So just put it away. Jesus.
Yeah, Jules is spot on with that. It's all over Twitter, isn't it? And Jules is literally.
And that wasn't aimed at Jules. That wasn't aimed at Jules.
No.
Just.
So how many years do you think Piff will give Eddie if he fails to get Europe again? We can't say he's forever. 2 years without Europe, we'll sack him in the season coming up. But again, it all depends on what the board have talked to Eddie. It's a conversation we don't know. We don't know what the season holds and what the aspirations are. The aspirations could be finishing the top 6.
Yeah.
And then try and get us to a cup final and win a cup.
And once again, everybody remember we were ahead of schedule when we made it to the Carabao Cup final and made it into the top 4. We were way ahead.
Yeah. Looking forward to see the whole Livermore play for years at Newcastle. Me too. I think them two are going to be fabulous for us. I really do. Right. One little last statement from me when it comes to Eddie Howe and the board and transfers. Eddie Howe has said this. The board have said it. Darren Eales has said it. He said it will take up to 3 summer windows to overhaul the squad that we had when everyone came in and took over Newcastle United. This is the 3rd summer window. So this is a big window. But they're not saying it will be done within 3 years. They said it'll be 3 years to see the start of it. It could take another summer window after that. So I think we're going to see some big changes coming up. But Eddie Howe has also said in a press conference, and I'm sure you can find a quote of it, we can't afford to go out and spend 100 million on a superstar because we're not in that situation with FFP and PSR yet. We have to be clever. We have to find rough diamonds and turn them into superstars. So some of the players that we get linked to won't be sexy players, potentially. I mean, Gordon wasn't particularly a sexy name, was he?
No.
Isak was a name that potentially wasn't sexy because everyone was saying, well, look, he's only scored 6 goals last season. Why are we buying a striker who's only scored 6 goals? We are in the market of spending between 40 to 60 million on players and turning them into 70, 80, 90, 100 million pound players. So just stop turning your noses up.
Yeah. We have to be okay if we have to sell them. We want to hold on to a Bruno. Yes. We want to hold on to an Isak. But with the current rules, what is it? If someone comes in with 100 million for Bruno, that means we can spend 500 million a season
over 5 years.
Yeah, or over 5 years.
I think it's over 5 years.
Right.
Something stupid like that with PSL.
You know, $500 million. But then again, when you're the richest club in the world, you know, what's $500 million to you now? That $500 million is over 5 years. Well, that's almost twice what they paid for the club. So, I mean, you know, it's funny.
I mean, we bought Gordon for 40 million. We've turned him into an 80 to 100 million pound player.
Yep.
We've bought Hall for 30 million, and everyone was thinking, what the hell have we done here? He's now looking every penny worth, and he will be better because he's young, he's English, and he's improving. Same with Livermore. Livermore was always a very good player, though. He was very unlucky at Southampton with his injuries. He's a quality player. He will be worth more money. Now, do we want to sell them? No, we don't. But if it comes a point where you need to sell someone for more than what you paid for them, you would look at the left back and the right back and think, yeah, we could probably buy one for cheaper if we've got our eye on someone. And this is where it all comes with buying younger players under the ages of 18, 17 and 16, like we're doing. Filling those younger squads and trying to make them into superstars of the next generation. And everyone says to me, oh, PIF aren't bothered about Newcastle. Well, if PIF weren't bothered, why are they getting the structures in place to do this? They're doing it over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Newcastle will become the next Man City or Real Madrid eventually. It might take a long time, but they will start attracting the top talent. And if they don't make it into the Newcastle squad, they will then make it into, you know, other Championship, Premier League teams and being sold for 30, 40 million. So that's my last word on the whole situation. Just stop turning your noses up at players. Trust the process. Trust what Eddie Howe can do with them. It's going to be a gamble, but we would rather gamble on spending 40 million than buying a superstar at 80 million. Then he comes and doesn't like it, which does happen. Like, I would stay well away from Mbappe, for example. You know,
I just love the video shorts of him and Griezmann and on the plane, and Griezmann's playing as
Championship manager in Newcastle. Yep, I remember that.
Yep. I just bought you for 130 million for Newcastle. It's not warm there.
Yeah. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yep.
It's difficult to compare clubs that generate. Yeah, exactly. That's our problem, and we will get there eventually. Take any young European player asking to have a high ceiling is like to scout the under-19 Champions League. That's the world's best talent there, and we will be. But it's not just looking at them, because then you're still looking at players who are at big clubs and will have a big fee already. You've got to look at the likes of Blackburn, which we're doing. Getting Chris Rigg from Sunderland would be another one. He was already broke into the Sunderland team, and he's only 17 now. They're the kind of things we've got to look. We've got to even look younger than that. That's what City do. I mean, I heard that sometimes City are buying players at 9-year-old and offering them, the parents, so much money to make sure they sign for City. There's so much going on that we've missed out on over these years.
We need to be looking for the next Dummett.
Next Alan Shearer.
At 9 years old. Yeah, absolutely.
We let Alan Shearer go, and look how much that cost the club in the end. But we will get there.
Michael
just
Carrick.
Got to trust. Yeah, Michael Carrick was another one that slipped through the fingers because we didn't have because Kevin Keegan got rid of the reserve team. Yep. He ended up going to West Ham. He ended up going to Man United, and he ends up having a great career. And he could have played for Newcastle.
And now he's managing Middlesbrough, isn't he?
He will do that. Yeah, he still is managing Middlesbrough. Yeah.
Yep.
And at Man United, he was a coach, and he was very, very highly thought of.
Yep.
I think they were gutted he went into management because they wanted to keep him as a coach, to be fair.
Yep.
Cheers, what time's your kickoff, Dan?
4:00.
So what time's that?
In the UK? Well, in the UK, it'll be midnight.
So if you're staying up, guys, Dan will give you an update on Twitter of how his team's doing.
If I remember to take the phone out of my pocket.
Yeah, you'll post as many pictures as you can of all the lovely dogs that are going to be there.
No, my missus isn't here, so yes, I will have to do that. So, yes. And I've got 4, but I none of them are social enough to take them out to this yet. No, we just 2 of them are COVID dogs. We got them during COVID, so we're the only family they know, and we don't have any dog parks nearby that we can go frequent and stuff. So they haven't. We've got 8 dogs in our family. One of them is a service dog. It's my nephew's dog. So they all get along with each other, but that's about it. So, and carrying a drum and a drumstick around, and there's not an extra hand for a leash. So, but I do have to get to the match because the first 1,500 people through the gates get a Monterey Bay Football Club leash. I got to go get me my leash. So.
Yes, you definitely do. Euros, I'll be doing what I can because I do actually have to work as well. I am working on it, though. We are constantly improving behind the scenes. Great chat as always. Thank you, Les. FFP rules for Newcastle. It's the same for everybody else in the Premier League, but it doesn't feel like it with Chelsea in the top 6. But that's the only answer I can give you on that one. It's the same for everyone else. Exactly the same thing. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in, commented, made the chat absolutely amazing. Like I said, this was a one-off.
Thanks for the trivia questions.
Show. Yes, we might have to do a few more then now.
Fun.
Exactly. You go and enjoy your game, Dan. Thanks for doing this last minute. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing those pictures. Let's go, Union. Let's go, Union.
MB. You say FC. MB.
Oh, FC. FC.
There you go.
Hey, we'll get that. We'll nail that down for next time.
All right. Baz, thanks as always. Thanks, everyone. Good to see you.
Love it. Catch you later, everyone.
Mine still doesn't work, so I have to figure that out. All right. Cheers, Baz.